Welcome to episode number 17 of the Making Moves podcast, where we talk relocating and real estate in the Dominican Republic. If you're looking to move to the Dominican Republic, this podcast is for you. If you're looking to make moves in real estate in the Dominican Republic, this podcast is for you. I'm your host, Josie Sells DR, and today we are filming part 2 of our school series. So this is for you to just get a better understanding of the schooling options, education options here on the north coast of the Dominican Republic. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about this place is that there are options. There are so many different options, and education means something different to everybody. So the fact that you can come here and kind of choose your schooling experience for your children is really amazing. I'm excited to introduce today's guests. We are actually filming at the restaurant of the kids club that my kids actually go to. This is a really special place, and this school or kids club has played a huge role in just the amazing quality of life that my children are able to have here. So I love this place. I'm excited to sit down with Deborah and Lena and have them talk about what makes the Encuentro Kids Club so special. Let's start with you, Lena. Can you just introduce yourself and tell everybody what brought you to the Dominican Republic?
I moved to DR in 2015.
Okay.
I came here first for work, then met my now husband.
Okay.
Decided to stay. Have not regretted so far.
Great.
I'm mom of 2. I have a 7.5-year-old and a 2-year-old. Your classroom mate.
Yes.
Kids.
Yes. So cute.
I love Dominican Republic for the freedom that it means, that it brings to my family and to my personal life. And
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Deborah.
Yeah, I am Dominican American. I was born in the States. So my parents are from Dominican Republic, and actually my dad used to have a radio show, so like being on this camera is very
In the DR?
in the DR many years ago. So I love it. I actually came to the Dominican Republic as an adult after the summers that we spent here. And I came mostly because I wanted to take a year from like my graduation for my bachelor's degree. And when I came, I ended up volunteering in the community and in the Dominican Republic. And I found my way into education and into supporting public schools. So after that happened, I almost never left. I went to the States to do some studies and do my master's degree. And I came back, and I have been here ever since. I live here with my young son. And I truly believe there's no better place to raise your kids. I think it's very magical here, and I feel very, very lucky to be able to wake up and every day to see the beach and the sky. So I think that it's really cool when you have these small hubs, just like Encuentro is, and you find families that connect. And I think it's really nice to see that we all have our kids here for different reasons, that they all come together for the same.
Agreed. 100% agree. Amazing. Okay, so let's start off with talking about let's talk about the rebrand, because you just told me before we started filming that you're going to be rebranding the name of the school.
Exactly. So after long discussions back and forth 100,000 times, we decided we're going to call our baby the Schoolhouse.
The Schoolhouse.
Why we're doing this move is because we are about to open primary.
Right.
So starting this school year, by the end of August, we're going to be offering 1st and 2nd grade elementary school. And from there on, we're going to open up 2 grades at a time.
Yes.
And we decided to call it the Schoolhouse because we feel that Kids Club might be just targeted to the smaller kids. And we just wanted to include everyone, all the age groups we are catering to.
Love it.
So the Schoolhouse is the extension of what we know the Kids Club. The philosophy is going to stay the same, but the team is extending. The academic background is extending. We're going to change the location soon, and there's a lot of new stuff to come for our kids.
Amazing. Okay.
It's out.
Yes. No, this is so cool. This is the first time you've announced it, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Excited.
Cool. Okay, so how did I keep calling it the Kids Club, but how did the Schoolhouse come to be?
So, how it's gonna be in the future? So,
no, how did it all start?
Oh,
How was it born?
How was it born?
How was it
birthed in Encuentro?
So the Schoolhouse was born during the lockdown in the pandemic. Back then in 2020, we all remember these times when we moms, families in the community found themselves actually working and left without childcare and left without any stimulation of the kids. Kids were supposed to be home in social distancing, lockdown. And there were quite a few here in the community of Encuentro that said, no, we don't want that for our kids.
Right.
And this is how the whole idea came up. And we started with a very small team with very few kids. And as of today, we have 10 staff members, 15 scribe kids.
And growing.
Yes.
Growing little by little.
Well, and there was a wait list so many times, right? There's a wait list to come here. Yeah.
Our biggest limitation at the moment is the space. Because we're a little tight there. But we are right now, during summer, we are remodeling. We are adding classrooms. And our big move going to be in 2026 when the Schoolhouse going to move into the surf lodge.
Yes.
And we're going to transform the boutique hotel into a boutique school.
Yes. Yeah. So right now the Schoolhouse is part of El Encuentro Surf Lodge. So it's an extension of the surf lodge. I mean, we're 300 meters from Encuentro Beach. Like, I can see the water from here. So it's an amazing location. But it's an extension of the surf lodge. And by 2026, the surf lodge is going to become the school. And the hotel is going to move just down the street here to the beach. So that'll be really cool. What are your core values of the Schoolhouse?
For me, as a mom, the most important thing is joy. I want my kids to get up in the morning and go to a place that they like. I think it's horrible when you have to force your kids in the morning to go to school. I mean, every kid has its days.
Yeah, but they should be excited.
It should be a happy place where kids feel comfortable, where they feel like en casa.
Yeah.
So where there's teachers that love them and give the love, and there's harmony between their classmates and a lot of cool stuff on the curriculum.
Yeah.
So I want my kid to have fun, basically.
Yeah, definitely feel like what they're doing day to day is not separate from who they are, and it's all connected with one. I think also that goes hand in hand with what we really value too is the community. As you were saying, we are in Encuentro, and part of it is the community where we're physically space, where we are close to the beach, we're expanding, we work with a lot of the services that are around. The kids get to go to the beach for excursions, for nature walks. They get to study out in nature. A lot of the classrooms are open classrooms, and it's open air, there's open space. So the physical community where we're at, but also the family community. We have a lot of families that are from different countries and that came during COVID and have stayed in the Dominican Republic post-COVID. And so really our space is very diverse, and it is very multicultural. And I think that that's a very important for both of us. I'm Dominican American, and so I also consider myself between two countries and two homes. So we really want our families and our kids to feel that this is their community. And as we're expanding and growing, our community is also informing how we're growing and what we're growing for.
Yeah.
And how we're serving our community. So definitely joy and community, nature
for sure. Yeah. Well, and I mean,
everything why we moved.
Exactly.
So actually, that's a good point. We want to have on our curriculum the reasons why we like to live here as parents.
Love it.
Freedom, respect, joy, nature.
Absolutely.
Fresh air.
All day, every day.
And we also, I think a big value for us too is we really believe in this whole child experience. I think that, sometimes kids do go to school and they feel like they have to do this lesson and this is the outcome and this is what they should produce. Whereas we really believe that every child is different, and that's beautiful. It's the nice part of being in a space with different people. They all have different strengths and things to contribute. So for us, I think it's very important that our space is helping the kids develop competencies and skills in these different areas. If our kids get to go to do surfing and swim class, and we try to encourage the nature, and we try to encourage also the academics, so that we can try to tap into the different parts and make a child grow and also make a child feel good and happy with himself.
Yeah, and just feel capable. One thing I noticed, I still remember the day when Kingston, after dinner, took his plate. He was 2, took his plate, and like scraped his little bits off his plate and then brought it to the sink, grabbed a little stool, washed it. And I was like, I didn't teach him that. Like, if I was in Canada, like, I probably wouldn't have expected him to be able to do that till he was like 5. Yeah. But he did it. And like, they're so capable. And that's one thing that I've noticed your school really demonstrates, is that like, even at 2 years old, like, they're so capable of just doing things on their own, and it makes them feel important, and it makes them feel, you know, like an actual human and not just a little, yeah. Okay. What ages currently are accepted?
So we just decided that from September on, we're gonna accept kids starting at 12 months.
Really? Oh, cute.
We've been around like the 18 month, with a couple exceptions.
Yeah.
So I think that we really believe we're right now remodeling the space, which is very exciting. We can't wait to kind of take the Band-Aid off that, but it's a space that's going to be very welcoming for the little ones.
Okay.
Very sensory filled with things for them to explore. And so that space is going to kind of have more for the little ones from 12 months up until, for this year, 6 to 7 years old.
12 months to 7. Amazing. And how does it work throughout the day? Like, so is it like the 12-month to 2-year-olds are kind of in one group? Like, how do you group them based on their age?
We have a group that's called infant toddler, where the kids 1 year to around 3 years are taken care of by a very loving and caring team of 4 teachers. Mm-hmm. Then we have preschool, which is 3 to 4.5, 5 years, and then we have kinder, 5 to 6 years, and then primary.
Okay.
However, our school is designed in a way that kids are not separated from each other.
Right.
Because we believe it's very important, as for the older kids, as for the younger kids, to be together with kids of different ages, nationalities, groups, and have like an inclusive classroom.
So would it technically be like a Montessori? Sort of.
I would not call ourselves Montessori only. We try to take the best out of
Okay.
That's Deborah's, how do you say it? Deborah's,
Yeah, no, we're definitely very, like, still play-based for early childhood, which we'll probably speak up a little bit more later, but we're very much a play-based for early childhood, which is like the babies, infant, toddler, all the way up to preschool and even kinder, whereas we believe that the environment guides the child's learning and guides the child's development, so we try to set up activities around the room for the kids to explore. We try to make sure that also the excursions and the activities that are planned throughout the year, let them grow and explore in that kind of way. But really the child gets to guide the learning at that really young age. And then starting in primary, we're very much going to be guided by Common Core standards through the U.S., but still inquiry-based, because we are still very much informed by the environment, the nature, and everything that we are surrounded by.
Perfect. Amazing. Okay, so what sets this place apart from, you know, maybe other kids clubs, daycares, younger age learning experiences in the area?
The philosophy I had when I created back then the kids club first were the 3 pillars of the motivating the intrinsic curiosity of each kid.
Okay.
The stimulate the physical activity, which I think is key for any development of kids, age-appropriate development of kids, and the joy by doing all that. So this was the 3 core values, and all that wrapped around the sense of service towards the parents, because we all know that school, of course, has the goal to educate my children, but it's also the place that helps me that I can go to work and get done, right?
Of course.
So I'm very towards the satisfaction of parents and children at the same time. So I have a policy at school, or a philosophy at school, that I try to be open as much as possible. I do not shut down school from one day to the other without notifying, because I think parents and kids should have a reliable place.
I agree.
Where they can bring the kid, and
I also, I would say, as a teacher and as someone who is like participating in the program work, in the practice and the working with the kids, this space is very unlike a lot of the schools that I've worked in where, for example, just the ratio of our classrooms and our teachers, it is beautiful. Like we have 4 teachers with our infant toddlers for 15, 16 children. And so I think that there is a closeness among the teaching staff. Like I think that you are really able to work within your skill set and with the kids that you can support at the time, but then also just within each classroom, you have a lot of support in the preschool and over here. So we have a lot of time to plan with one another, talk to one another. And when the kids go through the stages, we've had some kids, I think now at this point, that have gone from like the infant toddler to preschool. It's a very smooth transition, I'd like to say, because they see all the teachers. We're in such a close space where they see everybody, and it's not this like rash move to a whole nother classroom. Their flow and their rhythm is still very much continued as they're being like pushed to the next level of their learning. So I think that makes the space really cool. I think also the fact that we have so many families from different countries and different nationalities. I think we were talking about this before.
13 nationalities.
13?
And small. And we're fairly small still, but yes, we represent so many different nationalities, and even our teaching staff have taught and spoken different languages, and we come from, I love that. And so I think that makes this place very special. Like it just feels like even though we have all gone through different walks of life, we have all ended up here and we're connected here. We're all very happy here. So I think it's a little hub of special.
Well, and even just kids being exposed to, different languages and like different skin color and just things like that, where I'm not gonna lie, like when I was even in high school, I think there was like 2 dark-skinned people in my whole school. Like, and it was like, honestly, like in Canada and the US, sometimes it can cause problems with like bullying or just like people feeling out of place at times. But here it's like they're literally growing up just knowing that that's the norm. Like it's normal for people to be different and everyone's accepted, and it's beautiful. So
a lot of our families have come from like the United States or Canada, where in the main language is English, for example, but in our early childhood, Spanish tends to be the language of instruction.
Yes.
Kids are just absorbing the language, and
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Where they, might not speak it at home, but they speak it so much here.
They do.
In the environment that they are, I would dare say, almost balanced bilingual when after they are a year or two here.
Kingston knows more Spanish than I do. Yeah, and it's cool. It honestly, like, I'll say something in English and Spanish, and he'll only repeat it in Spanish. It's like it's just a more fun language to speak for a lot of people. Like, I wanna be fluent in it by the end of this year, but he's like, he'll just go off on like little Spanish rants. It's great.
I think it's proven until the age of 7 or 8 years, kids that are exposed to a second, third, or fourth language, they're gonna learn it the way that it's gonna become their mother language.
Yeah, of course.
And I see it in my son. My son speaks 3 languages.
Wow.
And for him, it's so easy.
Yeah. It's mind blowing how easy it is. Like, it's just second nature to them.
So hard.
It's
so hard.
Yeah.
Well, you're not. You're bilingual. You are.
I'm going for that third one, though. 3rd and 4th, I'm getting there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you learning? German? Yeah.
I do know.
Because Hendrik randomly started talking in German the other day. And I'm like, where did you learn how to count? Or Dutch or something. He's like, only...
Lena speaks German. So
okay, that's why.
We need a secret language.
That's the 4th one. The 4th one. Okay. Okay, so extracurricular activities. Most of them are incorporated into the day-to-day life. Like, it's not like you're going to school to learn and then after school you have to go to soccer and then swimming, and like it's all incorporated. So tell us what the extracurricular activities are that are actually part of the curriculum.
So one of my core values when I created the Kids Club / Schoolhouse was the physical activity.
Yeah.
So I started to incorporate swimming, of course.
Swim lessons.
Needed. Much needed.
So needed here. Yeah.
We do play soccer.
Yeah.
We do horseback riding.
Mm-hmm.
We do yoga.
We
do mobility classes.
Jiu-jitsu.
We do excursions. And now in primary, we're going to start doing surfing and surf skating as well.
Which is going into the day. The kids have it in their schedule.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And so, I mean, I like to say too, like, we do have this really great training school that is in front of us, Paralel, and we have great coaches. The expectation is not that the kids will be pro. Yeah, want to be pro.
Just exposing them to it.
You're exposing them to it. And so we really believe that kids have a natural need for movement. Like, they need to move, they need to explore, they want to touch. And so as young as infant toddler, we're trying to build it into the curriculum safely through swimming and things that are more accessible. And then our goal is to, throughout the program of primary and onwards, to really build it in so that they can continue to grow competencies if they want to go that route. And even if not, they have the exposure. Yeah, they are connected to the beach, which is, again, connected to our environment, they're connected to nature. Yeah. And we personally, I would say there's nothing that feels better than going into the beach and surfing in the morning and getting out. I think your brain is just so refreshed. So
It's healing.
I feel like there's not a better way for you to step into a math class than after you go surfing in the morning.
So true. So true. Yeah, so just so you can get a better idea, the school is here, and then between the school and the beach, we have this brand new, beautiful soccer field. What would you call parallel? Is it like what's the actual, like, what would it be considered?
It's
Like
gonna
a
be
training, surf training facility. Yeah, so it's kind of like the dry land training for surfers to go and level up, which is really cool. So. Okay, take us through a typical day in the life of a child who attends the schoolhouse.
We start with a very flexible drop-off in the morning. Kids can, in the early childhood program, from 12 months to 5-ish exactly, kids can be dropped off anytime starting 8 a.m. in the morning, as late if you want 11:30 a.m., whatever time feels comfortable for you and for your family. We don't want to start the day stressed.
Yeah.
Not for you as a parent, nor for the kids. However, normally families come in until 9. Then we serve breakfast. And then the curriculum activities start. So depending on which group the kids are, it's different sensory plays, garden time.
The kids have like more of like a work period usually after the snack, and so depending on the age, the babies, they might have like a sensory, they might go out on a nature walk. If it's kindergarten, they might be doing a math lesson, they might be working on a project that's something they started the day before, and they tend to have all the groups like a 2 or 3 hour work period built in between. Our eating times are all the same right now. I think for us it's a big sense of community for the kids. They all get to kind of sit with each other. Maybe
So cute. Every time I see them eating together, I die.
And they love to eat.
And the catering is
And the food is so good.
we have a permaculture garden.
Yes.
Very fresh. I think the kids love it because they eat seconds and thirds all the time and they're here. So they definitely love the food here. But after lunch, the little ones, they take a rest. So they take a nap or they might take a rest. The older students tend to have more of like a mindfulness moment where they either can read a book or they can do a bite activity like a puzzle or finish something that they were working on before. But just take a moment, like a beat in the day to slow down and like reset for everybody. And then after that, typically in the afternoon, if they don't have more classes or projects or the older kids, that's typically when they do their sport, they do their skating, their maybe surfing, usually swimming in the afternoon or any extracurricular that they have for that day.
Awesome.
Surfing and soccer takes place in the morning due to wave and weather conditions. So from 8:15 to 9:15, the primary kids have their sport lesson. And the second sport lesson is from 2:40 to like 3:36.
And then pickups until 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Amazing. Okay, what languages, we talked briefly about this, are taught, and how do you just promote language learning among the students?
Living here in the Dominican Republic, we think it's very important that kids learn Spanish. So our early childhood programs, infant, toddler, and preschool are Spanish only. However, our teachers do understand English and can communicate with the kids.
Yeah.
However, the language taught to the kids is Spanish. Starting in kinder, 5 years on, we are bilingual, so it's Spanish and English, and primary onwards, it's English.
I didn't know that the little guys only learned in Spanish.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The teachers very much respond to, some of these teachers will learn and respond to like the German if they can. any of the languages that they can access, they will for the native tongue of the child. But for the most part, the instruction is fully Spanish.
Awesome.
Which I think is kind of why these kids are speaking such fluent Spanish. Like they are little sponges. They really are.
Yeah, it's amazing. Awesome. Okay, so just kind of touching on the education system in other places around the world, like for me, coming from Canada, you know, you grew up in the U.S., it often follows a more standardized approach. So how does the education system here just differ from, you know, what my kids' age would be doing in a classroom right now? Yeah.
I think that the public Dominican school system is as rigid as in the United States or Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, here in this area, we have a lot of private schools like the Schoolhouse and a lot of others that actually use the freedom that Dominican Republic gives you to set up an environment, a school that allows you to do everything what you may want to do in the United States or in Canada, but you're not allowed by the system.
Yeah.
So
But you have to take a vacation to do.
Exactly. So and this combination of the freedom given by the Dominican Republic together with people that come from abroad with the ideas creates these unique schooling options that we have here along the North Coast.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the cool thing here too is there are so many schools now that it's either are slowly building up or have been here for some time. And so I think at the end of the day, what is best or what is great is when families really think about what is anywhere for me, what do I hope for and imagine for my child. And I think that through thinking and imagining that, then they find the right, frankly.
Absolutely.
And as you said in the beginning, education is a very subjective concept. Every family, every mom, every dad, every kid has different
Absolutely.
perspective.
Yeah, like there's families who one of their kids will go to one school, another kid will go to another school just because it fits, right? It's not like in Canada, it's like wherever you live, like where I'm from, that's the zone that you go to the school in that zone. You can't go to another school's zone. So it's just cool how it differentiates.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, interesting here, for example, because our grades tend to be multi-age. And so when you have 16, 17-year-olds together, you are 6, but you may be learning things that if you were in another school in the States, if you were only in first grade, you might not get to see until you get to second grade.
Totally.
Could be exposed earlier if you're ready for it.
Right.
And if you choose to.
Beautiful. Okay, what else? Tell us a little bit about the teachers at your school. I think they're amazing. They're so sweet, and the kids are always talking about just, good Haiti braided my hair today. Like it's cute. They're like very hands-on. They're like family. So tell us a little bit about your teachers.
Yes, I think in general, Dominicans love kids.
They do.
They do. And it's a gift working with those ladies. They really take care of your kids as it would be their own. They love them. They miss them. When the kids don't come to school, they ask, where is Hendrix today? Why he's not coming?
Yeah.
I have both my kids there. And for me, as a mom, it just gives me so much security. And
yeah. You can feel the love. You can feel the love when you drop them off every day. Yeah.
So that's from a perspective as a mom, but you have the perspective of an educator.
Yeah, and as a mom too, my son learned to eat broccoli here. just starting from that point on, it's good. No, honestly, our teachers are silent powerhouses. They are excellent. Like a lot of them have been with us since the beginning and throughout. And besides that, I think one thing that's really cool is that right now we have a lot of local teachers. A lot of our teachers back there have their certification, and also the teachers that do not have their certification are working towards their certification.
Oh.
So besides that, I mean, we're starting to offer professional development in-house, which is one of the exciting changes that the school year is bringing. But the teachers in C have a lot of strengths within ourselves, and so a lot of the exchanges, if someone is really strong in one thing, she's helping another teacher in a different area. And because it is so small right now and the community is so tight, I feel that the team is very strong because not only do they feel like the kids are their own, but they also feel like we all feel like we are very much a family too. So, I think we operate in that kind of way. Like someone's is it there, if someone needs to go study for something, or if someone has a survey for their university class, we all help where we can, and we try to work together that way.
Beautiful. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so we briefly also talked about this, but what does the future look like for the schoolhouse and plans for expansion?
Yeah, exactly. In 2026, we're gonna move into the surf lodge, and we're gonna be offering infant toddler starting at 12 months till 6th grade in presence. And we're gonna be opening probably already next year a co-learning space for kids older than 12, certainly. Where we are going to give a platform to kids that are homeschooled. A lot of teenagers already do their online programs. And we want to give them a place where they actually can come to have classmates. They follow that program online. We give them the catering around. We give them the sport activity.
The sense of community still where they still feel like they're part of it.
Yeah, they don't just sit at home.
They can still follow their individual program, and if that speaks to them to follow their individual track, they can do so while still being connected.
Beautiful.
To a bigger place.
Beautiful.
And a home.
Yeah.
A home.
I mean, so our vision is to, let's say, 5 years, have kids from 12 months to 18.
Perfect.
And I love it. And it's very, I love it. The camera can't see it all, but when you look up, you see just this beautiful.
We're gonna take some footage. Yeah.
That's my favorite part of being here at the school. Yeah. Because you look up and you see this beautiful sky, and you can look down and you can see the water, you see the beach, and I
hear the waves.
You can hear the waves and feel the wind. So I always just say, like, as a child, if I were doing like a math project or a math presentation, there's no better way than for like you to look up and just kind of like a deep breath and then continue on with what you're working through. Like, I think that is just the most special thing. One of the most special things about the location of the school.
Absolutely. It blows my mind that these kids do so much in a day and they come home and
Still have energy.
they're not tired. And I'm like, I don't think they could ever be thrown into an American schooling system where they're sitting down all day. Like, they just have infinite energy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's actually, I often say, I want to have just 10% of the energy.
Same. I would be the most productive human being on the planet.
This is what we really want to. I think that, like, the part of the reason why we are, like, the ratio is small and, like, the class is small, too, is just we really believe that this is going to be a space where the kids can create so much. And even in the future, like, we hope to create more of a way for the kids to take ownership in the school and some of the processes in the school.
Oh, that's cool.
A lot of it with, like, the sustainability of the garden or different projects that might pop up based on the kids. And so for me, I think about that and I'm like, wow, it's open to everything. Open to whatever. Whereas I do wonder, like, in traditional schooling in the United States, like what I did, I had to follow a very specific program and a very specific structure for testing, ABCD. And so what I think we're really trying to do here and what we really see as of now is something very outside the box for the differences that our kids show.
That's amazing. This is a beautiful place. I love it here. I can't imagine my kids going anywhere else every day. So they spend just as much more time, if not more time here than at home. So it's really important that they are in good hands and you guys are the best. So I appreciate everything you do. And it's summer camp right now. So when does the official school season start?
First school day is going to be 28th of August.
Okay.
We're going to be welcomed to the new classroom, to the facilities. We have decided to not show nothing before that day.
Okay, that's fine.
And we're going to invite parents in the morning to step in, see the new spaces. Sure. Our kids going to learn, grow, and create.
Great.
So, yeah.
Perfect.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I didn't even know that this was happening right now. Yeah, this is cool. Amazing.
Secret.
Okay, well, thank you, Lena and Deborah, for sitting down with me. It was my pleasure. Yeah. I also have some great just community videos on Encuentro specifically. So if you're interested in the schoolhouse, go check out our Encuentro community videos. And as always, if you got value from this episode, please like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you in part 3 of our schooling series next week. Adios.